Hey YouTube, I leveled up Tristan and now I'm ready to begin exploring the Valley of the Dead and then get into Vordekai's tomb to hopefully defeat whatever's in there. Yes, storms and bad weather do greatly affect how fast you walk, which is annoying. Okay.
Right here, my friend.
As part of leveling up Tristan, got him a nice spell called Joyful Rapture, which heals intelligence, wisdom, and charisma damage. Which right now Knock Knock and Akundio are suffering from. And that hasn't gone away after a rest or two. Ah, shit. Oh, whoop. Looks like I leveled him up a little wrong. I got him the medium armor proficiency. Can you have any armor? Leveled him up very wrong. That's a shame. That didn't seem to help their charisma. Let's try a regular restoration. That helped the con, but not the charisma. I'm confused.
Who's there? Lamash too?
Well, it's only -1. And it's not like they're using their charisma stat. But still, that's kind of annoying. Okay. So we got old bones.
Done.
There are tracks in the dirt. Numerous people on foot passed through the gate into the valley beyond not long ago. But it says there's loot. Ah. Okay, that barely qualifies as loot. A towering gate blocks your path. The pillars flanking the gate are carved from the mountain itself, and both the gate and pillar rise so high they are obscured by the mist above. The gate is sealed, but you see no lock, not even a handle. Study the gate. The gates are covered with ancient inscriptions and disturbing depictions of worship and sacrifice, but the inscriptions are far above eye level, so much so you have to take a few steps back to see them. In the center, where the two gates meet, there is a circular protrusion. Set into it are 3 black hooks. Examine the protrusion. Your initial idea that some ancient lock lay in the center of the gate proves wrong. The gate is sealed, a solid wall with neither lock, nor latch, nor keyhole. Perhaps the gate was not meant to be opened. It was meant to seal something inside. Study the hooks. The gate seems built for giants and their kin, but yet 3 small hooks are set in a circular protrusion in the gate, 5 feet off the ground. If this gate was meant for giants, it is odd they set the hooks so low. Peering closer, you see the hooks bear traces of soot and ash. Oh, alright, we basically can't fail this. Try to translate the inscriptions. Many of the words are lost to time and weather, but you make out some glyphs and symbols you recognize, and from there manage to piece together the inscription. In darkness the doors open, in murk the truth reveals itself, in gloom death steps into the halls. Decipher the images. On the gate are 3 cyclopses, great giants clad in ceremonial garb. They stand before an image of the gate, which is open. Each cyclops is holding aloft a lantern that looks to be a cyclops skull. Alright, let's light the 3 burners. You have overcome the gate. Now go to the Valley of the Dead. Go and meet your fate. Clouds of smoke billow from the lit incense burners, streaming out through the Cyclops' eye socket. You quickly realize the smoke isn't rising. It's encircling you, engulfing you, until all around you is darkness. Alright, step 1 complete. I would not have presumed that was the path to Vordekai's tomb, with it being that close. You get quite the walk through the mountains.
Let's finish them quick.
Overcome.
Dawnflower.
We definitely do not want Tristan in the front lines. Yes, he's in the back, theoretically.
The end draws
How may I
near.
help?
Having a shit ton of channels is not going to be something I regret.
I have managed.
List of clans and families has seen better days. You can notice a word written over the neat lines. It reads traitor.
The deed is done.
The Master of Death will call out those who is buried under his feet. Those who reject Vordekai will become servants to him. Great Vordekai will unite sworn enemies with a common afterlife goal, implementing his will. Let's just make sure I don't miss something like that.
Now,
The
it's the
deed is
beginning of the
done.
hunt.
Knock knock used to lighting enemies on fire first.
God damn it, Tristan.
Consider provoked.
Can't wear armor. Don't get on the front. Listed on the tablet are the names of ancient clans and families. Mysterious phrase concluding the list reads, free in life, obedient in death. I guess that's true of just about every zombie.
I have managed.
The tablet is covered with the names of dead Cyclopses buried in the Valley of the Dead. The list ends with a statement, "May the Vordekai's army rest in pieces and ashes until it rises on his demand." It's awful steep. Doesn't look like you should be able to walk up and down that.
I did as you asked.
Ooh. +2 arcane inscription scythe. +2 enhancement bonus to attacks with touch spells.
Forwards. The deed is done.
Thousands of thousands are buried at the feet of Vordekai.
I'm not afraid.
Grant you death.
And we'll finish reading that in just a sec. Okay, I need to get Tristan a bow. I can't have this asshole walking in the front every single time. Thousands of thousands will embrace the darkness and rise at Master's call. Thousands of thousands will start a new age in glory of the Four Horsemen. And in some of the later Pathfinder bestiaries, they actually statted out the Four Horsemen. They're pretty awesome. I mean, a high-level party could take them, but I think smarter Four Horsemen would not just engage in straight-up combat. They've got a lot of ways to kind of fuck with you from a ways away, or to soften you up. Alright, you can't actually use these composite longbows I've been collecting, so maybe I'll hopefully run across some regular short bow or something for him. But for the most part, Tristan's just going to be getting himself killed every combat, which is unfortunate.
May we have a moment of respite?
Yes, we should rest before we get in the tomb. I always thought the word respite was weird. It's like, just call it rest. Why'd you add the extra pipes at the end?
Forwards.
You came, human, past the ancient gate, through the Valley of the Dead. You struck down all who stood in your path. Despite the danger awaiting you, you still came. My master knew you'd be a worthy servant. One more step, human. The sanctuary of the master lies beyond. Accept your fate without fear, and Vordekai will be merciful. But remember, once you open the door, before you, there's no turning back. I'm ready to meet your master. Go forth, human. May your death be intertwined with the ecstasy of suffering, never ending. I don't think that's what ecstasy means, guy.
Without
Ecstasy
a doubt.
is a good thing.
Done.
A subtle sickening smell is rising from the holes in the floor.
Something bothering you?
Oh yeah, there's one spell I got him. That I thought might be important. Delay poison for 1 hour. Let's just smack that in there just in case.
We shall overcome.
Sunflower.
Strike as one.
I'm listening.
Instead of attacking, you're set to constantly touch of good. You can't constantly do things.
There are other ways to cast this spell.
Okay.
My search was not in vain.
Done and done. I did as you asked. I did as you asked. I see something.
I think someone's trying to tell us we're not supposed to go this
Done
way.
and done.
But fuck that guy. We go where we want.
Without a doubt.
I'm not afraid.
The end draws near.
Right here, my friend.
Forwards.
Let's finish them quick.
The delay poison spell was absolutely the right call.
My hand.
How'd he take strength damage? Ooh. That's a lot of strength damage all of a sudden.
Once a girl told me my eyes light up her world. I said that the blessing of Sarenrae will light up her soul. She seemed disappointed.
I mean, it
Share
should
your
have been
troubles.
poison, so let's try neutralize poison on him. Meh. Oh, he wasn't hit with the delay poison. Neither was Tristan. Not sure how that happened.
Some other way needed.
We march ahead.
Okay. This room doesn't seem to connect anywhere else. Ah, here we go. A door.
Without a doubt.
I'm impressed. You still breathe.
I was hoping you'd remained outside.
Don't count on that. Don't count on that. Don't keep my master waiting.
I shall end this suffering.
I don't like surprises.
Consider me provoked. This is for you. I'll fight back too.
My search was not in vain.
Not used to lighting enemies on fire first.
Fire.
This failure.
I need your breath.
Ready and willing.
Could have gone smoother, but whatever.
I did as you asked. I did as you asked. Done and done.
Gotta make sure we don't get negative level blasted by any traps,
I did as you asked.
because that would be a bad day. Sure, a lot of dead humanoids on the floors here. For an ancient temple, I mean.
How may I help?
Yeah, Shield of Faith is the same as a Ring of Protection, or at least it gives the same sort of
I'm
bonus.
listening.
Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi.
There are other ways to cast this spell.
I guess it's melee only.
Inimosi Travisi. Ona Adayanam.
Everywhere I go, a pall hangs over everything. Though people say it was better before I arrived.
Aporane Sentes.
I'm just getting that sort of feel that we need to buff up.
Lisano Danium. Lisano Danium.
And I've been wanting to make Akbo bigger. Huh, that seemed to have no effect. He's got plus 13 strength right now. Does he have a bonus to Constitution? Yeah. Okay, so animal growth did affect him.
I'm open to your orders.
Now some magic fang.
Unimosi travisi. Unimosi travisi.
Hurricane bow for the dead.
Depend on me.
Unimosi travisi.
I won't let you down.
Alright, that's most of it for now. Let's save so I don't have to go through all that again.
I will guide us.
There are barely visible hatches on the ceiling.
I did as you asked.
There's a luminous sphere, the oculus of abandon, a gift from the horsemen of death. At the feet of the Cyclops crawl numerous people who kneel or prostrate themselves before him. Trekking through the gloomy dungeon, we finally arrived at a heavy stone door, decorated with lots of fancy carvings. As soon as we touched it, though, we heard a click from within the wall, followed by a suspicious noise above our heads. A heartbeat later, before we even had a chance to guess what was happening, some rusty hatches opened above our heads, and murky water from the river began flooding the room. The room filled rapidly, threatening to trap us in a watery grave. Along with the water, sand and mud from the riverbed poured in, as well as some of the underwater plants and some scared fish that weren't fast enough to escape. It can be hard to keep your cool in a situation like this, but while some of us were praying to their gods or complaining about not having the time to finish Galerion's next greatest novel, the others tried to. Yeah, let's just see if we find anything. Alright. We searched every corner, but there was no sign of any controlling mechanism. What we did discover, though, was a long, narrow crack in a side bas-relief. Determined as ever, our Baron plunged a dagger into the crack, and the wall gave in, revealing the door to a hidden room. Those ancient architects sure knew how to build their traps, and they were good at building hidden rooms, too. Especially the kind you could use to hide from a triggered trap. The room behind the bas-relief wasn't spacious, but it was big enough to save everyone. After several minutes, the noise behind the door stopped. Maybe the prehistoric pipes got clogged with mud, or maybe the trap just shut itself off. Either way, we waited for the water to drain out through the cracks in the floor, before looking back into the gloomy room that almost spelled our doom. That's where we found the remains of someone who hadn't been as lucky as we had. As the water had sucked in mud and fish from the river, it also pulled in the twisted skeleton of some drowned adventurer, still clad in tattered traveler's clothes. The poor soul didn't have anything in their pockets to hint at who they might have been or where they came from. But we did find a pouch of coins. After one more look at that scary place, our group carefully moved on, advancing further into the depths of the sepulchre.
Our path leads on.
Done and done.
Forwards.
Okay, I guess that's just the side room we slipped into.
Now is the beginning of the hunt.
Attack!
I die.
Your life ebbs low.
Oh shit. I mean, dude took a lot more damage here than I thought.
Hold on. Just a little more. Forgive me for this failure.
Faces of my family.
Flower.
Left us having all back. We shall overcome.
Be easier if you not fight back.
I see the faces
Damn, so
of
close.
my family.
I see something.
I will see this
Didn't catch
through.
that last time.
Forwards.
I did as you asked.
Without a doubt.
Oh, look! Done and done.
Okay. Let's get some short-term
Road to
buffs up.
success.
Maybe save again.
Well, sorry, was lost in thought.
You can count on me.
Stand with me.
Consider me provoked.
Not used to lighting enemies on fire.
Grant you death.
Repent!
No strike wasted.
So if my dudes go down, they lose all their buffs. Which I
I will
mean,
guide
is
us.
fair, but I don't think I'd really picked up on that before.
How may I help?
The end draws near.
Our path leads on.
I shall end this suffering.
You!
We shall overcome.
I see your light.
Easy.
Cannot hide from me.
This ends you.
Repent!
brace yourself. The throne room is near. Are you ready to meet great Vordekai? Are you ready to accept the gift of serving my master?
Here's the real question. Is he ready to die?
My master awaits. But before you enter his presence, Vordekai has no use for the weak, nor any who beg for mercy. But he sees value in using such souls as heralds for his coming. The question is, who is weakest among you? Who should be sent away, disregarded? Pick the weakest among you to fly from here in fear and serve Vordekai in their flight. The great Vordekai will let them keep their lives, but makes no promises after this.
Nah. Knock Knock, who's been strangely quiet, and now that you notice has a hungry gleam in his eye as he watches the raven, suddenly speaks. This Vordekai is truly great, then Knock Knock will allow him to serve and learn to be truly, truly great. Price of less than cheap. Only costs Vordekai 1 raven. I'm not sure if I want to sprinkle this altar with blood right away.
Right here,
Or
my
if I
friend.
would even do so, but
Yes, I'm still here.
that's the prompt. Yeah, we've needed a generous amount of healing to get through here. So it's just a trap? Okay.
Please not rap skull.
Oh, Knock Knock do this one too. And then give him a restoration.
I did it? I did!
Patience.
Without a doubt.
That's interesting. A figure lies shrouded in darkness in the center of the room. The stench of decay emanates from it in waves, enough to make your breath catch in your throat. As you choke back the urge to vomit, the figure turns to reveal a misshapen skull with blazing eyes. Who comes? Tell me who you are first. A servant of death, a keeper of darkness, and all its victims. Now answer my question, lest you join them. I came to purge this place of evil. Trespasser, and soon, victim.
Be easier if you not fight back.
Okay, this time, start abusing a touch of good. Shit, that's 4 levels. Who was it that took the level drain? Ah. The main dude.
Forwards.
Cloak of resistance +3. Yes, please. It's got 4 negative levels. It's kind of a big deal.
Notice awaits us.
How much diamond dust do I have left? Plenty.
Oh, sorry. Was lost in thought.
And I think we've got like a death ward sort of thing. Yeah. Blessing of courage and life. An actual death ward though, right? No. It's 5th level, right? No, 4th level. But we needed lots of restoration. Dang. So, barbarian. Who are you? The man's voice is hoarse, almost a crack. You can barely make out his gaunt features beneath the tangle of hair and filth covering his face. His wrists are chained and he looks half-starved, barely able to raise his head, yet he does so defiantly. I can see you're neither dead nor Damon. Release us. This is Vordekai's tomb. Have you seen him? Once. Once one of the beasts came here. A cyclops, but not like the others. Thinners, with clothes like a king, but half eaten through and almost no more than shreds. He ordered us to tell him who we were and where we were from. I wanted to curse him, spit on him, kill the foul thing twice if I could, but... The man swallows as though choking back his shame. Then I started spilling everything I knew. All I knew of Numeria and Dugoth. Everything! Beware that one. He can twist your will with a word. What did you see while imprisoned here? Beast with a single eye, dead half-giants, and dead a long time from the look of them. They used to come and take one of us to who knows what hell. There were many of us just several days ago. Hold on, how long have we been here? Who are you and what are you doing here? We came from Numeria, Dugoth's group. Have you heard of him? We were scouting the foothills, found a strange gate. Then the blackness took us. When we woke, we were here, shackled. Alright, well, you're free. Free. Free at last.
Look ahead.
We march ahead.
I did as you asked.
Without a doubt.
Did it without breaking.
Search was not in vain.
I did as you asked. Done and done.
Look ahead. Stop. Look.
Jeez.
I see something.
Jeez.
I did as you asked.
Those trap working fingers are getting their work
I
out.
did as you asked. Done and done. I did as you asked. I did as you asked. Done and done. I did as you asked. I did as you asked.
Look ahead.
Done and done.
Our path leads on.
I had a feeling that spot was also trapped.
I did as you asked.
Oh, I don't like surprises.
I wonder how much damage we would have taken if
I
we
did
walked
as
through
you
every
asked.
single one of those. Let's go ahead and save. That took a second. On to Vampiric Touch. Caster level 5 though, which isn't impressive. Probably sell that.
I've broken a nail.
Without a doubt.
Your life ebbs low.
Best kind of fight.
Where'd my main guy get to? Ah,
One.
it's good to see when all the other dudes surrounding him.
Not that
Just a little more. Forgive me for this failure.
I'll fight if I have to. I
I aim true.
Ranger for the win.
I did it. I did.
Good number of giant tombs.
Yes,
Let's
I'm still here.
slap in some HP.
The end draws near.
One more.
We march ahead.
I'm not afraid.
Do not hold back. We shall overcome.
There are other ways to cast this spell.
Which knife to use? Not used to lighting enemies on fire first. Oh! Be easier if you not fight back. Hey. Come here, Bax. Not to stab you. Yeah!
Why are we not helping?
Which knife to use?
Dead. Cannot hide from me. Nowhere to run.
Healing fire. I need your breath.
Alright, that was pretty rough.
I will guide us. Without a doubt.
Patience.
Pretty low on healing now.
Share your troubles.
I stand ready.
We should try and camp. We can wipe out the good stuff today. +2 damage rolls is pretty nice. Ooh, fast healing 1. Movement speed. Let's go with the fast healing 1. It's a high cooking DC though. Hopefully we pass. I can't cook here. Damn.
Why are you so concerned about death? There are so many interesting things in life. I don't understand how one can die without trying Absalom's famous blueberry cakes.
Blueberry cakes as the meaning of life. There is something in this. I suppose even the end of times would be more fun with a blueberry cake in your hand.
I love the dialogue. +29 wisdom, Jesus. His mind was nuked.
Grotus awaits us.
16 wisdom, 5 wisdom, 6 wisdom. Our perception checks are not going to be as hot.
Me see, me keep.
But at least they're not
Oh, look!
nothing.
Done and done. I did as you asked.
Look ahead!
I see something. I did as you
Entire door was
asked.
secret.
I believe I found something.
That's cool.
Done and done. I did as you asked.
You? Hand of Damnation site. It's a death reservoir. An extra 46 damage.
I did as you asked.
Our path leads on.
This is a dark place. Why do you say this? The carvings on the walls. They're a chronicle of rituals. They depict the worship of the most depraved of creatures, the demonic 4 horsemen of apocalypse. Their followers serve the will of their masters, death and destruction. Every disaster, every misfortune serves the horsemen. Suffering and pain are what they treasure above all else. They see life as a harvest, and even knowing their nature, there are those who embrace horrific acts to gain the horseman's favor. Hey Jackster, I'm doing good. Let's see. Neutral good. Yeah. We must face evil, no matter its voice, and stand against it. Tristan nods slightly, frowning. You're right, but there are times where doing the right thing, it's beyond our power. He sighs, then casts a dark glance at the chamber. We should leave this place. No, I'm gonna explore. Images of disasters and cataclysms cover the wall, here and there, among seas of demons. Tearing apart their victims, you can see the terrifying shadow of the 4 horsemen.
Without a doubt.
Alright, gotta touch the big thing.
Done and done.
The eye in the center of this base relief seems to be staring at you. It has no pupil, instead there is a slight indentation. An honoring place for a magic artifact.
I will guide us.
So right now we're kind of wrapping up this arc of the main quest. And we're about to go up against Vordekai, who's a pretty big bad, who serves the 4 horsemen.
Forwards.
So I'm saving frequently. Couldn't play any further just because of time? Or did the game have some issue? PhD student. That's cool. I mean, it's cool from the outside, I'm sure. As you're doing it, it's kind of rough. What are you, getting your PhD in?
I'm not afraid.
Repent!
Zombie Lord. Cephalorentus. That vaguely rings a bell.
We shall overcome.
Not used to lighting enemies
Sacrificing
on
dog
fire
here for a
first.
moment to take the people at my flank.
I grant you death.
Okay.
You forced my hand.
Repent!
Now would be a good time.
Can
for
someone help
haste.
me?
If we can protect her from enough food against. There we go.
So it's come, Sarah. I see your light.
Your life ebbs low.
Sweet. Okay. Computer engineering. Nice. Computer engineering makes a lot of sense as like a job, but what do you do at the PhD level?
Grotus
Right here, my friend.
Gameberry. Gameberry can be used in a recipe that gives you fast healing all day. Okay. Yeah, making stuff secure is going to be more and more important as time goes on.
Face me if
Cannot
you
hide
dare.
from me.
Repent!
Be easy.
Nowhere to run.
I was successful in my search.
Look ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And like, we've got a lot of outdated technology in very important areas like
Forwards.
nuclear power plants and other like non-nuclear power plants. But apparently those have been getting kind of probed by other countries. So,
No strike wasted.
all sorts of important things. Oh, check out the sword I got. Endless War, +5 and Vicious. +5 is the highest possible like attack bonus, and Vicious gives me extra 2d6 of damage, but I take 1d6 every time I swing it. As far as I'm concerned, that's totally worth it. But yeah, I've always been fascinated with power, and I think a lot of the modernization that'll happen in America in the next,
did as you asked.
I don't know, 20 to 30 years will be in the power grid. But I'm in solar power myself, so what I'm really hoping is that once we get enough renewable energy, we can actually move to like a hydrogen economy and just get rid of oil altogether.
Without a doubt.
But the problem with that is we actually need to have like 120 or 130% of our energy like produced in America, because hydrogen's not actually efficient. I mean, the fuel itself is efficient, but extracting it from water has negative efficiency. It seems like there was a mini maze there. I mean, it was still mostly one way, but it's definitely winding me around for some reason.
Our path leads on.
Stop! Look!
Done and done.
This temple's had a ton of traps, but it's been a really cool dungeon temple thing so far.
Without a doubt.
Tons of zombies,
Look ahead.
tons of traps. It's like everything you want in a dungeon.
I did as you asked.
Yeah, there's been some pushback against renewables, but
Forwards.
I've never really understood that. It's like, yeah,
That is quite a discovery.
some people will lose their jobs,
around
but
here as
other
well.
people will gain jobs.
Done and done.
Wand of Slow. Look at the Winter Wolf. That'd be a cool
We
cloak
march
to put on
ahead.
my actual wolf.
Confide in me.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Fools, there's no way out of here. It's hard to find forgiveness for any creature that does such horrific things. But I doubt forgiveness would mean anything to a monster like him. Looks like these zombies aren't attacking me right away. That's a lot of zombies. They're all just chilling.
I shall end this suffering.
Okay, well I guess I shouldn't have expected that to last. Let's run back into the hallway. And then force them to come to me for tactical advantage.
Deep.
Aim true.
Yeah.
Strike as one.
I'll fight if I have to.
Sunflower,
You can't stop
grant me strength.
Oh yeah. You feel cool just taking on a
Share your
fight
trouble.
tactically, forcing them into a bad strategic position, hitting them with AoE spells, and just like mowing down triple or quadruple the number your party has.
Consider me provoked.
Let's finish them quick.
Become
Of course,
as
not all
dust.
zombies are made even.
Hand
Some of these guys are kind of bitches. I could take them on even if they surrounded
Do
me.
not hold back. We shall overcome.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, the combat is pretty nice. Sometimes it's really rough,
I will
but
guide us.
then you just buff up more and maybe reposition people and things go okay.
Stop. Look.
I did as you asked.
Looks like a button.
I did as you asked.
Yeah, so it looks like Vordekai was
Done
betrayed by
and
other
done.
Cyclops. Gonna check this hallway before I go too far. Yeah, I mean, like the Stag Lord fight was brutal. Did you end up checking out my video for help on that one?
Path leads on.
Now was the beginning of the hunt. Just said explore.
Hey,
Nowhere to run.
come here, Bax. Not that. Which knife to use? Not used to lighting enemies on fire.
What a waste.
Wasted.
Yeah, I thought I did talk to some of his henchmen. I know I talked to at least one of them, and that did help a lot.
Did it without breaking it.
Oh, the Owlbear can fight for you?
Forwards.
That's a big deal. I figured there must have been some way to do that, but
Strike when
I guess I just
centered.
never figured it out.
Become as
Be easier if you not fight back.
This is for you!
I'll try to make this swift.
Wait, where's he? He goes voice is faint. It was speaking from far away. Oh. Ah, we met him on Candlemere? The figure before you looks vague, indistinct, as if it could dissipate into the air at any moment. But, Baron, is that you? Flee from this place before it's too late. This dungeon is a trap. A trap. Why do you remain in this world? I tried to leave, but I feared to. I did all I could to be a decent man, but what if it was not enough? What if Pharasma decides to cast me down, to be eaten by demons? No, I'm not ready yet. I need to think, to work up my courage. I need... The goblin stares at the ghost, then shakes his head violently and turns away. Knock knock, not know where he go when he die? Not need to know. Dead is dead. Knock knock is still alive. All good. How'd you end up here? It's not my fault. It was a mistake. A huge, foolish mistake. I was wandering through the mountains, searching for something. Something that would prove my worth. Make others sit up and take notice. A little respect. People always used to talk that there was some ancient ruins and tours of Levines, but all I found were potsherds and rubble, so the next morning I decided to head to Varnhold, and from there to Rostov. Then something happened. I can't tell if it was a demon or it was as if someone had set a compass needle behind my eye, and it was pointing me in another direction, so I went through the darkness and ended up at outside this damn tomb. What items can you sell without any issues? Anything that doesn't have a gold ring around it. Most of them will say that a merchant will buy it. If they say an antique person would like it, you sell it to the speaker in town, and he just automatically takes them off you. You don't have to go into an inventory screen and move them over. What happened in the tomb? I just wanted to take a look, so I knew it was foolish, but I saw this bracelet, entirely of jade, an entire fortune worn on the wrist. I shouldn't have taken it, but I couldn't resist, so I snatched it and fled before some dead thing crawled from the tomb. I returned to Varnhold and gave the bracelet to Magar. I expected he'd pay me with a good sum of gold, but before I could get my reward, he came for us. Varnhold, we're its citizens. They left, by their own free will, by the will of someone else to be precise. I was among them. I remember that voice ringing in my head, the voice like an emperor, giving orders no one could disobey. So, I did everything it demanded, and so did the others. That's how all of us ended up here. Vordekai, he's evil incarnate. He blamed us for stealing what was his, then tore our souls out chest and imprisoned them. As for the bodies, you'll find them in the next room, the dining hall. I can't bear to look upon them. Yeah, the speaker is in your throne room, by the exit door. He'll be pretty obvious. Have you seen Vordekai? A lich, a cyclops, their dead emperor. He's an ancient creature, perhaps the most ancient creature on all of Galarian. He hates humans, dwarves, elves, the lesser races, the slaves he calls them. He can twist our mind and crush our wills into dust. I know, for I fell victim to his power. He boasts that he'll conquer the world. But you know, I think the centuries have taken their toll, weakened him as he lay sleeping here in his tomb. I don't believe Vordekai is all-powerful. It may be possible to defeat him. So devouring people is not enough for this monster. It wants a crown, I see. As if the Technic League was not enough. Here is another wannabe master. Well, he's getting no slaves here. Why wasn't your soul imprisoned? Willis is silent for so long, you begin to wonder if he's going to answer at all. When he speaks again, his voice is fainter than before, as if ashamed. Vordekai decided I deserve a harsher punishment than the others. After all, I was the one who stole his bracelet, the one who drew his eye. But he didn't torture my body. Instead, he raked his fingers through my mind, plucking out memory after memory. He made me confess every bad thing I ever did, every shame. Showed me how weak I was. After he was finished with me, he slit my throat with his finger. But I didn't die. He released my soul through the wound so that I might forever be amongst those who died as a result of my weakness. So here I remain. It's what I deserve for all the grief and suffering I caused in life. Yeah, I'll forgive him. Go in peace. You forgive me? But I did so much harm. Yet there's still a hope for me beyond the world. His eyes widen. You notice his form is fading, dissipating into the air. I hope the gods will be as merciful to you as your grace was to me. My time has come. Thank you. Farewell. Knock knock.
Hope it not
Calm
fight
yourself.
back. Best time to fight.
Repent!
Without a doubt.
How may I help?
I don't normally bring Tristan with me, but he kind of insisted on coming. The only good thing about having him with me is that I've got a lot more channel positive energy now. I've got like 22 uses of it. I think he was supposed to get away, and then Knock Knock automatically aggroed him.
We march
Because he's got
ahead.
that necklace that forces him to attack everything around him.
I'll fight if I have to.
Karim has
More
12
runner
and
and talker
Tristan's
than
got
fighter.
10. Oh shit. Not a fireball. Not this.
You can.
Contemplate on your mistakes.
I'm listening.
The local militia will have plenty of nice weapons when I get back.
Let's give them what they deserve. Consider me provoked.
Jesus.
So it's come to this. Right here, my friend.
I will guide us.
I don't think I ever actually picked up selective channeling for him either. I've never even worried about it. But I don't tend to use it in combat a lot. I mostly use it in between combats. Let me check. Yeah, looks like I don't have it either. Meh. It's just never bothered me. Took some negative levels there. see, he's got 2 negative levels, 2 negative levels. Same thing, 2 negative levels.
Without a doubt.
Not sure
Look
where to
ahead.
pick those up.
Everywhere I go, a pall hangs over everything. Though people say it was better before I arrived.
Yeah, at the lower levels, each individual damage number you're taking isn't too bad. Whoa.
Something
So,
out there.
in combat healing's reasonable, but later on, just doesn't make sense to heal in combat most of the time when you're getting whacked for like 30 or 40. Tristan's voice drops, as if he's afraid of being overheard. The heart of the tomb. Vordekai is close now. What makes you think so? What? No, of course not. But like all who follow Serenay, I can feel the evil in this place, thick like the stench of rot and decay. You insisted on accompanying me. Now that you're here, you're acting strangely. What's the matter? It's no matter, Titus. This place, it feeds on doubt, fear, loss. If we were to never see each other again, would you have any last words for me? My last words for you? I would say that you are my ally and my friend. I could always count on your support. And if it was within my power, I'd do all I could to keep you by my side. Tristan smiles, but it's tinged with sadness. Ever since I met you, I've thought myself blessed to stand with a hero such as you. But this blessing, it was not the gods, it was your strength, and for that, let us take faith in each other, and then purge the evil from this place. Alright, see you later, man. Have a good day, too. I think I'll hold off on that room until later. Gonna check down this collapsed tunnel first, just in case. I don't want to miss anything.
Yes, I'm still here.
Bad.
Let us not hesitate.
It is kind of a rough athletics check.
Me? Clip, clop, clip, clop.
Okay, it's not letting me try anyone else. So that's pretty much it. Time to fight the boss man. He's supposed to like destroy people's wills. I don't have any spells to protect my mind. I'm a little worried that's gonna come back and bite me.
Keep your eyes open. I'm open to your orders.
Oh, I think he's taking too much wisdom damage to cast his spells.
Who's there?
Whoops.
The master?
What's the holdup?
Something bothering you?
Actually, communal protection from evil protects us from mind control. So that's all we need right there. This will protect us from poison. Maybe if we cast Restoration on Akundio, he'll be able to cast his own spells. All I got was Wisdom back, but he'll have to rest.
Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi.
I will see this through.
The end draws near.
Aborane Sentes. Aborane Sentes. Magritio Turinos. Aborane Sentes. Aborane Sentes. Johnny Savitur. Lisano Daniam.
You can count on me.
Alright, let's start things up.
Cannot hide from me.
Stand with me.
I wonder if I can dispel or banish these. Oh shit. I thought that was gonna go in my favor. Whew. That was after buffing up.
See? Mickey!
Forwards.
Done and done. I see something. I did as you asked.
There. Let's hit all that buffing one more
I'm
time.
listening.
Aborane Sentes. Aborane Sentes. Aborane Sentes. Magritium Turinos. Ono Adayana.
What's the holdup?
I will see this through.
How may I help?
Magritium Turinos. Ona Adayanam.
I think some of the damage those water elementals was doing was cold. So that should help.
Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi. Inimosi Travisi.
Ready and willing.
Escaping from sight.
Good, you get
Hope not fight back. Best kind of fight. Knock-knock used to lighting enemies on fire first.
Yeah, some of it was cold, so we're taking less damage.
We shall overcome!
Alright. I'm not sure what's happening to them.
I will guide us. Our path leads on.
Here we go. In the dim light, unable to disperse deep shadows in the corners of the dark hall, you see a tall, angular figure, over half the height of a man. It's a giant with parchment-thin skin, clad in ancient clothes, yet he pays you no notice. He is studying a glowing vessel cradled in his hands.
He is here, Master. He came, O great Vordekai.
You might be a little blind. The giant turns to you, and your attention is immediately drawn to the single eye in the center of its dried and dead face. Or rather, an iridescent ball of dark shades, shimmering within the Cyclops' empty eye socket like abyssal fire. In the center of the sphere is a spark of ominous red that seems to cut into you.
An interruption? So, what disturbs my meditations?
The creature's voice echoes as though speaking across several chambers at once, or perhaps through many different selves. As the reverberation ceases, the dead figure answers its own question, and the answer sounds like a death sentence.
I was pondering what to do with this pathetic creature, Nagar Varn. This fool dared to claim the lands that belong to me. Can you see his soul? This emptiness of this vessel is all he rules now. The same fate awaits you. I kept Magar's body because I thought he might prove a servant. But no, your corpse kneeling before me will be of more use.
Came here to cleanse your evil from these lands.
The real evil comes from lesser races such as yours. Corpse flies that feed on my ancestral lands. I've already begun purging the empire of your kind, and you will watch as I extinguish each, one by one.
Cannot hide from me.
I think he actually needs the ring. Could be wrong though.
Be easier if you not fight back.
I do need her up though. And while I'm at it, need some assistance.
Enough, Vordekai. Come face your death. I'm the one who will sentence you. From a relic of a crumbled empire. A relic I steal. Curse you, Vordekai. Blinded by your faded power, I take your sight. Curse you, Vordekai. Thriving in your blind arrogance, I claim your eye. I must take it. Forgive me.
Tristan's silhouette, holding the oculus of abandon, is a stunning contrast. A terrible darkness against the shining portal. The cleric doesn't meet your gaze. His eyes are focused on the gateway. He speaks faintly, as if lost in its light. Evil can tempt anyone. You're stronger than it. Fight it.
I cannot. It is not my will, but I am bound by a force greater than my own, and I must bring them the Oculus. But I can destroy it. The one who can't see evil will smite an entity that tempts others. The messenger of good, deprived of sunlight, gains the power to dispel the darkness. Gah! Dawnflower! Healing light! Merciful Sarenrae, your servant and champion calls for you. Grant me the power to remove the last obstacle on the path of salvation. Grant me the courage to spare the world from the abomination that threatens it.
A light blazes through the tomb, and Tristan's hands become aflame with sunlight. He covers his eyes with his palms and utters a blood-curdling scream without taking his hands from his face. Tristan slams his heel downwards, shattering the oculus of Abaddon beneath its weight.
Now I can't see evil. Oh, Sarenrae, the price of faith is high. I shall never see your sacred light again. The end of this nightmare. I'll accept punishment. Any punishment just to have it end. Only one last shackle remains, and this is done.
My sight! My eye! My gift from the depth of Abaddon! It's gone! Stolen! Thieves! Maggots! Wretched, pathetic creatures, I'll slay you! I'll slay you all! Come, Horagnimon! Serve your master one last time!
Once stately, the ancient Cyclops shudders and moans. Foul black liquid runs down the cavities in his face and soak his tattered clothes. The magical glowing vessel with Magar's soul strike. The magical glowing vessel with Magar's soul strikes the stone floor with a hollow, tulling sound and rolls right to your feet.
After all I've done, after all I've achieved, after all the trials, still I fell, and to what? To a pathetic thing like you. Worthless creature, proud in your ignorance. Do you even realize what you've done? You've doomed Vordekai to oblivion and all the power and secrets of the greatest empire ever known.
Which empire are you talking about?
About the one that flourished in this world long before you came. About the one that in its greatness outshined everything ever created by mortals since the beginning of time. About the Empire, whose last remaining son, great Vordekai, was destined to restore.
We brought an era of enlightenment and prosperity to this primitive world. We created masterpieces, ones your kind cannot even fathom. I was the one who shaped this thriving empire, and the one who was going to release it from the prison of time. But then you came and shattered any hope of reviving the greatest civilization of this world.
It had been built on the blood of countless innocents. I cannot allow that.
What is the blood of mortals in comparison to the greatness of the empire that rises above it? You will never see it.
Justin took your eye?
You don't even realize what your sidekick stole. The Oculus of Abaddon is not some eye. It's a dark creation, having tremendous power, given to me by the mercy of a horseman of the apocalypse. The Oculus is capable of seeing the unseen, revealing the future to its holder, and dominating over mere mortals. Your pathetic settlement was so close to sharing the fate of Varnhold.
What have you done to the people of Varnhold?
Vermin, who came to my lands, who raked the land with their plows, pierced it with stakes to build their miserable shacks, desecrated the sacred tombs. First, they tore my lands from me, then broke into my sanctum and stole what was mine. I was enraged when I awakened, but the Oculus of Abaddon gave me the answers I needed. It calmed me, focused me. It was powerful enough to seize control over all who lived in that wretched settlement. They came to me, one by one, to be slaughtered. I fed upon their minds to make sense of this renewed world. The thoughts they held were enough for me to conclude the world is ready for my return. The world needs my return. You look at me as if I committed some blasphemy. Hardly. They defiled my lands, so I defiled them in turn. Although I didn't want to limit my revenge, their souls await fate inside the same jars as does the soul of their arrogant leader.
Your time is at an end, Vordekai. Farewell. I wasn't sure if he'd actually be able to come back. Thought something bad happened to his body. Ooh, Band of Mental Perfection +4. Wearing that helps just against conjuration. Oh shit, that's a real nice cloak. Resistance 15, everything. weapons are always kind of meh, but it does have a lot of charges. It does do good damage. I don't actually have any characters that need all the mental stats, but I'm sure someone will benefit from it. Oh, so it's also a Ring of Protection +2. Whatever, that's cool. Give it to Octavia. Arcane Enforcer. I'm not sure how it gets an additional 1d6 damage, but that's pretty cool. Doesn't look like he's in a talking mood.
Without a doubt.
Is there really nothing over here?
Forwards. We march ahead.
Should probably heal my people, just in case. Our search for an answer to the mystery of Varnhold was coming to an end. After learning of the horrible fate that befell the poor citizens of Varnhold, we headed to the final destination of our trip, a dark chamber hidden behind Vordekai's throne room. As soon as we crossed the threshold, we froze, breathless. The dark hall before us was filled with gleaming, transparent vessels. The shimmering light of the souls imprisoned there dispersed the gloomy darkness of the tomb. The liquid shadows danced and twisted on the stone walls with every move of these bright little sparks as they beat against the interiors of their elegant, translucent prisons. And what did the Baron do when he saw the cruel fate of Varnhold's citizens? Whoa, that's super evil. But no, we're going to imprison the souls. I mean, we're going to free the souls, not sell them. Upon breaking the first jar, a bright flash of light heralded that the imprisoned soul had regained its freedom. The bright spark flew in an arc over our heads and settled on the floor, and then, well, even my talent as a writer can't do justice to what we saw then. The freed soul was resurrected in a heartbeat. On the spot where the spark landed, a man clad in dusty peasant's clothes appeared, an expression of utter shock on his face. The poor man was terrified when he came to his senses after that nightmare, only to find himself in the middle of an ancient tomb. It took no effort to free the others. With each new crash of shattered glass, new people appeared around us. Guards, fishermen, mothers, their children, farmers, drunkards, grumpy grannies, groaning gossipers. Long story short, all the people who'd been abducted by the oculus of abandon had returned. Ah, if only shattering kitchenware always brought such joy and goodness. Alternating between lamenting, crying, and yelling for joy, the crowd headed for the tomb's exit. We followed after them, finishing yet another chapter of our heroic chronicle. Awesome. Vordekai no longer poses a threat to our barony, but we emerge from the ordeal empty-handed. The oculus of abandon is gone. Tristan has run away, and he used the same kind of portal we saw during the season of bloom. No one has any idea what's going on, or where we can find our betrayer, but I suspect we'll be hearing from Tristan again very soon.
Without a doubt.
Your Grace, gods be praised. You're our savior. You rescued us. And not just me, but my people as well. Whatever I can do to show you my gratitude, Magar pauses for a moment, as if lost in thought, then grunts. Too bad Cephal didn't live to see this moment, and Gunderson. He wasn't a bad sort, just impulsive. We'll mourn them. We'll mourn them all who'd lost their lives because of Vordekai, and then give your barony a shit ton of stuff. Magar turns to you, at attention. Your Grace, by the dead of blood, Varnhold and I now serve you. The cowards from the north didn't lift a finger to help me when I was in need, so I offer my sword to one who will. He bows his head. I'll head to your castle and wait for you there. A deputy will rule in Varnhold. I'll appoint someone trustworthy. Don't worry about that. Wow, jeez. Thanks, man. Alright, did I miss anything? It doesn't look like it. But I'll save here just in case.
I will guide us.
The ancient evil was defeated. The dead tyrant Vordekai wouldn't be threatening us or anyone else any longer. Alas, our friend revealed himself to be an enemy. How could you, Tristan? We trusted you.
I think there's more to Tristan. I mean, he was clearly a very devout follower of Serenay. Something must have put a gaze on him or something. Alright. Let's see. We need to get back home. And for some reason I'm zoomed in really close. I don't seem to be able to zoom out. There we go. Maybe. No, I'm still zoomed in. I thought that was going to solve itself because I allocated someone to it, but let's head on. Alright, everyone needs a nap. I don't even have enough people to manage watch. No one gets a good meal today. Okay, that fixed the zoom.
The West would be welcome.
find out how I deal with that drunken giant.
Rest would be welcome.
We have so much to report, Your Grace, I don't know where to begin. First, the Sword Lords have requested your aid against the barbarians. Secondly, monsters have started to appear within our barony again, as they did during the bloom. According to reports, most of the creatures have been sighted at Candlemere Lake. I hope, Your Grace, you will decide which action to take first. Either way, you should choose quickly. Either deal with the tribes from Numeria, who are marching to us through Brevoy, or try to discover where this new bloom originates from. What's happening in Brevoy? The Killed Barbarians, Your Grace, the Tiger Lord's tribe. They sometimes serve as mercenaries in the River Kingdoms. Not long ago, a new chieftain rose among them, and inspired the tribe to conquer new lands. His name is Armag the Twice-Born, and it's said his tribe honor him as a living legend. Looks like Brevoy has become his first target. Rosslyn, to be more specific. Miri raises her head, her eyes blazing. Tiger Lords! So they decided to come and fight? I've heard my former tribe is with them now, hiding from the evil spirit that haunts them. I bet the Tiger Lords brought the cowardly worms here with them. If so, I'll give them what they deserve. She shakes her head, as if trying to cast off something unpleasant, then glares at you. But her words are carefully controlled. What I wanted to say, Chieftain, we need to go out there, and we need to hurry. I'm going now, to scout around, maybe find some help. Come with me, or else we'll live to see this Armag smash the Brevins and come knocking at our main gate. These barbarians aren't as big a deal to me as the creatures appearing at Candlemere. I need to protect my lands first. Go see what happens if I don't let her go. She gives you a crooked grin. Oh no, you're a chieftain, tough and strong. Don't pretend you can't do without me. Sure, it would be better if we went together, but as long as you're stuck here, fine. You can think I'm gone scouting. And as soon as you sort things out here, you go to Rosslyn. Together we'll strike these barbarians down so hard they'll join their mothers in their graves. Till then, what's going on at Candlemere? Not long ago, a bright flash was spotted on the center of the island. After that, monsters started to appear in the area, attacking fishermen and travelers. Someone should travel to Candlemere and discover where these monsters are coming from, and why. What should I do first? Are you suggesting I take the throne? If I were you, I'd pay attention to what's happening with our neighbors to the north. I'll send my people to Brevoy, and you should go to Rosslyn to give the Sword Lords your support. Okay. Lander smiles slightly, submerged in his own thoughts. We're decided then. We're going to deal with the business at hand, which leaves me to find some place to put my efforts and talents as well. So, Your Grace, until next we see each other. Your Grace, I came to say farewell. Alas, I must return to my homeland. I have responsibilities as family head. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Take care of yourself. That was probably the nobleman whose brother wandered off and started that whole Varnhold quest. Titus, your subjects truly are savages. My, how the peasants hate paying their taxes. And if they preferred the Stag Lord's way, when he ran out of gold, he'd just kill everybody in the nearest village and pick the loot from their corpses. But here you come, with your monthly tax collection, and for them it's nothing less than a nightmare. However, your people won't get off so easily. Numbers of them joined the tax masters, followers of Avadar. They regard avoidance of taxes as a major personal offense. These tax masters wear golden masks and go from door to door to beat the gold out of your people, along with their teeth. It is indeed the civilized approach. It may be the only way to bring some sort of civilization to this forsaken corner of the world. However, if you allow this to continue, you will surely be called a tyrant. I urge you to act carefully. Address these tax masters and let them know that they have gone too far. But don't disband them altogether. Someone has to collect your taxes, and there aren't many people willing to take this thankless job. Yeah, that seems fine. Act as you see fit. I hope you won't be troubled by a touch of hypocrisy. The peasants will hear you denounce tax masters, and that message will comfort them. In the meantime, the tax evaders will still be attended to. During the nighttime. Quietly. Covertly. And support the treasurer's endeavors. I'm not sure what that will be. Wow. Court's busy today. The captain's usually untroubled face is dark with rage. Your Grace, please forgive me for distracting you from important masters, but you're the only one who can talk some sense into these hot heads. They had an argument in the middle of the street. Yelled so much your subjects called the guards. But what can they do about Lady Valerie? Plus, if Veld hasn't done anything illegal, it's not like I can put them in jail. Valerie, explain yourself. Valerie looks down ashamed. I humbly beg your forgiveness, Titus. I failed to control my temper and besmirched not only myself, but you as my leader. The girl cast a burning glance at the man in sophisticated attire standing beside her. Unfortunately, I was provoked. Eveld the silver-tongued. The man catches Valerie's glance and gasps with indignation. Is that so? Forgive my manners, Your Grace. Allow me to introduce myself. Eveld the Silver-Tongued, from Brevoy. It's a pity we meet under such circumstances, but this, so to speak, sweet lady insulted me, if you please, in front of my audience, halted my performance and embarrassed me in front of the entire tavern. Would you please be so kind as to rein this lady in? Valerie is apparently trying to control herself, but telltale red spots flare on her face. I noticed that someone pinned a disgusting cascade next to the tavern entrance. Something about a bright bird who lost its feathers. That's abominable insolence. Yes, I won't deny I'm guilty. I lost my temper, but who wouldn't have? Is that so? When I smothered this lady with exquisite compliments, I received only insults and jokes in return. When I came to her with gifts, begging her to become the muse for my greatest work, I was ridiculed and sent away like a snotty boy. And now, the moment I start to pursue my art away from this good lady, she seeks me out and says I'm guilty of spiteful slander. What shall I do? I'm but a slave to my inspiration, which is sent to me from above. Eveld smooths down his hair and adds, and while we're on the subject of poetry, it's really not that bad. Eveld, did you really write a pasquinade about Valerie? Forgive me, who would I be if I stooped to such low attacks? I won't deny that the cautionary tale of this lady could inspire me. How can you listen to this featherbrain? Of course, in the face of justice, he's ready to disown his own parents. And if I'm allowed to continue, let me say what this pasquinade was devoted to. The sad position of the arts in these lands. Forgive my frankness. Anyway, the good lady is unlikely to understand what allegory and poetic hyperbole are. Don't even try, Your Grace. I'm afraid even Abadar couldn't get to the bottom of this ball of accusations. Eveld, I'm sure, has journeyed here. Then he saw Valerie and wrote something awful. but I'm still gonna tell them both to make peace. I'm not gonna make peace with this worthless paper stainer. Let him spend his useless time insulting his other bootlickers. Your tongue befits your beauty, my sweet. Truly, what a beautiful flower's bud worth, if it's worm-eaten and empty on the inside. Hooch. Enough, both of you. First you scared everybody at the tavern, and now you're embarrassing yourselves in front of the Baron. Apologize at once, if not to each other, then at least to his grace. I don't know what got into me, your grace. Forgive me this scene. Please forgive me, Titus. Perhaps I should leave, to calm down and come to my senses. That's nice. You let some steam off and work things out. At least now I can let you go. Hoping you won't scare our good people anymore. Your grace, I'll go too, but please keep an eye on Valerie. I don't know what demon has gotten into her, but she's not herself lately. At first she'd just snap, then she started getting into fights with everyone about stupid things, and now she's dragged this bard out of the tavern by his collar. I'm afraid it might come to some real violence. What do you mean hasn't been herself? She got defensive. Can't say a word to her. We've been careful around her since she runs a finger across his face meaningfully. I'm close to ordering my lads to keep an eye out for her in the streets, to make the common people's lives a little calmer. You think Valerie could hurt someone? Well, I wouldn't say that. The Valerie I used to know would never harm anyone without good reason, but the old Valerie seems to be gone, so I don't know what to expect from her. I'll talk to Valerie when I get the chance. If I were you, I'd talk to the storyteller. One of the lads saw Valerie arguing with him. I have no idea how anyone can have a fight with such a harmless elf, but she did. Sure. Before you was a boyish half-elf. Oh, it is a girl, just a boyish girl. Her tight-fitting leather outfit is full of patches, and a large, mean-looking blade rests on her hip. A tattoo adorns the woman's neck. On behalf of the simple folk of Varnhold, I greet you. My name is Turval. I am here to represent our community, to present you with a token of our loyalty, and to humbly beg your help. How do you need help again? I just saved you. The half-elf handed you a wrapped parcel to you. I personally vouch for its quality. I made it with my own hand. Every stitch and cut. I hope you'll like it. Turval proudly hands over her gift and continues in a steady tone. We ask you to let Varnhold assemble a militia of her own. Many of the locals are eager to keep watch and defend their homes with weapons in hand. Especially so after the... well, you understand. Your Grace took care to send guards to Varnhold, and I'm grateful for that. However, the townsfolk would sleep better knowing that you've let us take the protection of our children and elders into our own hands. I understand that this would require an investment from you, but we will not remain in your debt for long. If there is a workshop where I can work leather, I'd be more than happy to make all manner of things for you. I used to make a living as a tanner back in Daggermark. Tell me about your idea. I'll try and keep it short. I come a long way from here. Daggermark, that is. We've never had too much in the way of law. But we always had order. It just wasn't the guard that looked after it. It was the local bandits. Every village, every quarter, they all had a gang of their own. They never touched anyone except other gangsters that came by. They were just like the guard, you see, even though no one ever gave them any authority. And if you don't have the authority, and you carry a blade, well, then you're a bandit. You've sent your guard to Varnhold, but firstly, they're strangers here. Second, they're not your best people. Think about it. Who would ever want to get posted all the way down here? So that's why there are so many guards there and so little order. As for us, we know the people we're dealing with. We can tell the real thugs from the harmless drunk who likes to tie one on and wave his fist around. Who to watch because he's a dangerous fool, and who to watch because he's an eager fool. Long story short, we've got our ways. So that's why I'm asking for your permission and your help. We want to bring a few brave and quick-witted folks together and do everything by the book. Alright, I like that idea. Thank you, Grace. I hope to hear from you soon.
Meanwhile, barbarian hordes had been gathering near Brevoy's borders. We had a difficult choice to make. Was it more important to chase a traitor, or to fulfill our duty as allies?
Jeez, so much to do.
I will see this through. Forwards.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to talk to Storyteller too. Ah, Your Grace, my stories are calling for you. Have you come to answer their call? The captain of the guard told me you had to fight with Valerie. Alas, this is true. Believe me, I didn't want to fight, but my fool curiosity wounded Valerie's pride. I will apologize to her the first chance I get. What did you fight about? I asked Valerie if she still had anything related to the Eternal Rose Order, from back when she was a novice, an innocent question, but she took it as impudence, or insult. Please don't blame her. I'm to blame for what happened. Do you think she's been acting strange lately? What can I say? We're not that close. She has no interest in the things that matter to me, and I prefer the world of ancient heroes and old legends, not the fuss that's all around us here and now, so I don't have an answer to your question. But I know that those who consider Valerie a close companion might be hurt by her words. Yesterday I talked to Lindsay. When I mentioned Valerie, I heard sorrow and tears in her voice. Maybe the tireless chronicler is having a tough time for the very same reason that you honored me with your visit today. I found some stuff. Ah, yeah. Restore the Cloak of Sullied Souls for me. The storyteller places scraps of leather covered with unrecognizable inscriptions before him. The story you want to learn is truly terrible. Even more terrible could be the destiny of any person who dares to wear this cloak. But as you wish, I will impart a remnant of my gift into this cloak, so we'll be able to recount to you the times of its creator. Here. So we finished everything from the Fallen Soldier. Got 10,000 coins, 1,875 experience. I feel the damp cold of a dungeon, weapons clinking. I smell blood and soldier's footcloth. There's a dull pain in my muscles, and a weariness, an endless weariness on the verge of desperation. I am a Cyclops, a soldier of the 19th Unbending Legion of the Gulgan Empire. I'm gonna read what's up there. Okay. We travel the Darklands. Okay. With the mission of clearing the middle levels of the southwest sector of Serpent Folk. Over the course of the mission, we've lost a third of our contingent. Our rations run low and our morale lower. I've heard several soldiers secretly tell each other they've lost any hope of returning home. But I stand strong. I'll endure whatever I must to return home alive for the sake of my wife and child. But each new march, each new battle dims the thought that I'll ever see them again. I pray for the sun's protection and guidance. But can the great luminary even hear me down here? Lots of questions. Yeah, let's ask about the Cyclops Empire. Galaran? Never heard of it. Galaran was founded by Golgan refugees several centuries later. As for why there were refugees at all, well, we'll learn soon enough. How long have you been on your mission? Cut off from the sun and moon, we count time by daily marches. I've lost track completely. It feels like we've spent an eternity in this underground hell. Could it be that, when I return, my son will be a graying old man with sons of his own, and them sons themselves? No, I must avoid these venomous thoughts. Do you worship the sun? Yes, of course. Do you know what Cyclopses... Do you know what raises Cyclopses above the animals and other two-legged savages? The Cyclops face has one eye, a single orb, just like the sun in the sky during the day, or the moon at night. We build majestic temples to praise the luminaries, and in return they reward us with prophetic visions. The lesser races may roam in the dark, but Cyclopses are capable of seeing truth. Why do you wage war against the Serpent Folk? By the order of our Empress, Zalekti Neverdoze, with her own hands, she destroyed their den near Garkotar, and beheaded their leader. The Darklands will soon be ours. Maybe once we've purged it of Serpent Vault, we can find a way to bring some sunlight down here. Go on. Our mission continues. We've lost Alpha contingent, but we still have no orders to turn back. The soldiers' desperation is becoming open indignation. If we were outside in this situation, I'm convinced half the unit would have deserted by now. But here we are, and there's nowhere to run. I listen to the soldiers talking, and I don't like what I hear. This underground hell has changed them. They don't look to the luminaries for help anymore. Rumor has it that some of them have secretly begun praying to the Serpent Folk's gods. Worse than barbarism, this is pure insanity. But wasn't this mission itself insane, in hindsight? What beings do the Serpent Folk worship? I don't know, and I don't wish to. Who could possibly be worthy of worshipping in these fetid catacombs where sunlight can never reach? Devils or demons, if I had to guess. We've seen some of their unholy shrines, and they were enough to make even seasoned veterans sick. Flayed skins, bowls of blood and entrails, altars made of bones. And this done to their own kin, to other Serpent Folk. I can't imagine what they'd do to their captives. Did you kill many Serpent Folk? I don't think so. I don't know the exact numbers. That filth doesn't practice honest combat. They move through secret passages to ambush us, attacking from behind or above or below. We've decimated many of their nests, but they still keep coming. The Legion rebelled. An officer caught some of the soldiers offering sacrifice to the Serpent Folk's gods, and he ordered them arrested and executed. But he had no idea how deep the contagion had spread. Many soldiers refused to follow his orders. The groups stood facing each other, swords bared, loyalist against traitors. I should stand by my commanding officer, die beside him as a loyal soldier of the Empire. But I'm scared. Oh son, I'm so scared. I don't want to die here, underground. I want to see my wife and son again. I couldn't say a single word. I couldn't even move while they butchered our commanding officer and the soldiers who remained loyal to him. But that couldn't save me from what happened next. They declared the slain as sacrifices to the Serpent Folk's gods, and each of us had to taste the flesh of the sacrificed or share in their fate. Salty blood runs down my lips. I choke down the slimy meat and clap my hands to my mouth to keep myself from puking. Sun and moon can't help us here, and I raise my prayer to new gods. My legs won't hold, so I kneel, and I feel them. I feel they're here, with me. They stand around me, their cold palms on my forehead. And my fear subsides. I'll return home. Isn't this what I was praying for? Will you end up executed for treason? Not if they never learn of it. We all agreed on the stories we'd tell our commanders when we returned. Our operation was successful. The Legion suffered heavy losses. The commanding officer was killed in action. So the next in command took his place and ordered us to head back. We did. That's all. Do you still sacrifice Cyclopses? Just once or twice. Now we try to put captured Serpent Folk alive and sacrifice them instead. I've even developed a taste for snake meat. The underground gods turned away from that scum. Their new followers are far superior. Such power and glory these new gods can bring to the Empire. We could even challenge Aslant itself. Whoa. Fucking... They just called down a meteor shower and sunk a continent. That's awesome. Go on. On the upper levels, we rejoined the main force of our army. We reported the cleansing operation as a success. No one doubted our story of the officer's glorious death. Not that I'm surprised. It seems our legion wasn't the only one to accept the protection of the underground gods. Some soldiers even prayed to them openly, and our superiors turned a blind eye to it. Finally, we make it back to the surface. I breathe fresh air deep in my lungs. Like a crimson eye, the huge ball of light glares down on me from the sky. I shut my eye, for I'm no longer used to sunlight. Tears run down my face. No matter, it's alright. I'll be home soon. I must thank the gods for my safe return. Maybe my son would make a good sacrifice. What happened to Golgon after that? As so often happens, while the Serpent Folk may have lost the war with the Cyclops, they won victory over their souls. Soon, dark cults spread throughout the Golgon Empire, replacing the traditional worship of celestial deities. Sacrifices of Cyclops, public tortures, and ritual cannibalism became commonplace. The Empire began to decay. As the new Emperor founded. Seeing the Empire dying, some Cyclopses fled to what is now known as Iobera. They hoped to preserve the culture of the old Golgon, to build a new country free of dark cults. But, as before, the contagion was already too deep. Kulran proved to be just a lesser copy of Golgon. And then the Earthfall came. Skies have fallen down, ending the Cyclops' civilization along with so many others. Thanks for the story. You make it sound as though you're actually there in the moment. I gained this gift after I lost my eyes. When I touch relics, I can feel the thoughts and emotions of those who previously owned them. If the emotions are strong enough, I can even see the events that left those impressions. Alright. Now I've got a new Cloak of Lost Souls. Ooh, -4 Constitution. +2 to the wearer's caster level when they cast a necromancy, school, or summoning subtype spell for the purpose of calculating variable effects. Grants the ability to cast Vampiric Touch 3 times per day. And taking the cloth off is difficult, and it might kill the wearer. So this thing seems shitty. I'm not going to put it on, but I will sell it, and thanks for the story.
Without a doubt.
Alright, let's talk to Magar. Your Grace, welcome back. How can I serve you? How do you find the capital? It's impressive. Still, sometimes I just miss the open spaces of Dunsword. How are things in Varnhold? Excellent, Your Grace. Everything is excellent. Sure, when everyone returned home, they were a bit uncomfortable, but after appointing a deputy and doubling the guards, the citizens began to calm down and life started returning to normal. You saved us all, Your Grace, and I'll never be able to thank you enough for that. All I can do is serve you faithfully and ensure your efforts weren't in vain. Varnhold will stand strong no matter what. This I promise you. Have you taken care of Varnhold's defenses? The people have already reconstructed the fort walls, and started digging a new moat around the town and organizing patrols. That event was a real shock to everyone, so now every citizen of Varnhold, young or old, has been doing everything in their power to never be caught off guard again. Do you remember anything from when your soul was imprisoned? I'm not sure, Your Grace. It was dark. Almost no space. If you don't mind, I'd rather not recall anymore. In your room, I discovered a letter containing threats. Is there anything you want to discuss with me? I didn't want you to know about that. Wanted you to spare you from any further worries. I began receiving letters like that one since when I sent you trading goods. Damned if I know who's behind them. Once, my men even interrogated the trader who delivered the mail, but nothing came of it. How did Jemandi act when Varnhold joined my barony? To be blunt, Your Grace, who cares? Maybe she's angry back in Rostov, or crying her head off, or even celebrating. Matters not. The issue's already been settled between the two of us. I'd like to offer you an official position. In what way could you help me govern the country? I can't say ruling a barony used to give me much joy. There are far more enjoyable pursuits. But if there was something I really excelled at, it was managing Varnhold's treasury. If I hadn't been there, our citizens would have had to tighten their belts. Okay. Finally get to look at my cards. A famous skeleton half-orc rebel. Oh yeah, this was going to be difficult. I'm pleasantly surprised, Lindsay Pest. The curator held a beer brewing festival in the region. The peasants' worries had been drowned in spirits. Terrible fire struck a settlement. The advisor's aid arrived just in time. The settlement's being rebuilt after the awful fire. Yay. This was going to be difficult too. The guards arrested the poachers and prison made them talk. The guards will make good use of their secret knowledge of the forest paths. There were gigantic multicolored mushrooms. The high priest had a vision, telling him that the mushrooms had emerged from the first world. He and his clergy held a ritual and managed to protect the peasants' houses from the strange growth. Ah, damn it. I don't appear to actually be able to swap that out. EDPP, we can handle that. I should probably research at least one of those curses, but whatever. We'll see what happens if I don't. I could have sworn I signed someone to this. Got plenty of problems, but only one Rigangar. Yeah, Rigangar's time is just very, very high value. much BP do I have right now? 184. I should probably sell some stuff and claim some more stuff in the barony. But I can manage the barony off the camera. So, I think that's it for this episode. I had fun. I hope you did too. Be good.